almost made it to Independence Day celebrations. In fact, for some time, the long holiday weekend, for some people rather, it's already begun. People have already started their vacations. And I'm not usually one to be a Debbie Downer, but it is really key to remember that we see a lot of accidents around the 4th of July, and that's especially the case with fireworks. Last year, nearly 15,000 people were hurt so badly that they had to go to an emergency room to be treated. People often think sparklers are harmless, but they are not, and they were responsible for about 1,700 of those ER visits across the country. Tragically, there were 11 fireworks-related deaths last year. Ben Kasper is Injury Prevention and Outreach Specialist with Oishei Children's Hospital's Trauma Center, and he's live here with me tonight. Ben, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I showed the numbers there nationally, and you know, people know that fireworks can be dangerous, keep kids away from them, but yet these accidents happen every year, including locally.
Yes, that's very true. And basically the best practice is to leave it to the professionals. Mm-hmm. Those shows are going to be much more phenomenal than your backyard fireworks that you're going to have anyway. And I noticed that you brought up sparklers as well. You know, they can burn about over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, wow. Which can melt certain metals too. So, you know, you said that oftentimes people think that those are harmless when that's not necessarily the case. Short duration of time can cause a significant burn.
I've talked with ER doctors in Western New York, including at Oishei, but also at some of our other hospitals, and they have to up their staffing around the holidays because you just know that people are going to come in with these injuries.
Oh, absolutely.
And is that happening at Oishei?
Yes, we've seen an uptick because we went from, well, as we classically do in Buffalo, from winter to summer with the flick of a switch. So we've seen a tremendous amount of uptick in our traumatic injuries that have come through our doors for sure. Mm.
In terms of the sparklers, the statistic, at least nationally, is more than a third of the injuries come from burns. And again, I think it's one of those things where people believe that sparklers are sort of harmless. When I was a kid, I played with sparklers. And you see all this video of kids holding sparklers. How do you get that message to penetrate, you know, years of people thinking they're safe?
Well, fortunately, we can go on news outlets, so that always helps a little bit. But to think of like the alternatives that you can use, like glow sticks, the little poppers, different things like that, and knowing that, like, basically the cognition of your child too. Like, you shouldn't be having a 2-year-old running around with a sparkler because they don't know the ramifications of their actions necessarily. So, and having a responsible parent present can also help reduce some of those injuries.
Finally, it's not just fireworks or sparklers that lead to injuries. I mean, this is just the time of year, right, when it's sort of the first big holiday when the weather is nice enough here, with more people swimming and more people doing a lot of things that make them prone to injuries.
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, you're going to Chautauqua, you know, this upcoming weekend. I actually just went there for Father's Day weekend. Nice. But, you know, if you're going to be in the open water, you want to make sure that you have a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket, because there's a lot of different devices that are out there that maybe are marketed in a not so great way, and they don't necessarily have the stamp of approval, and they give a false sense of security when it comes to parents purchasing a lot of these items. Yeah. And when it comes to just everybody's just opened up their pools and things like that, making sure that your gated pool, the latches work, they're going to close just basically if nobody's, you know, physically closing it, having alarms set up, teaching your kids how to swim, all of those things, learning CPR, because that is a silent thing that happens. And probably the most important thing too, especially if you're going to be at a gathering, is to have like a water watcher. And having like a tangible item is always nice. So that way they know that they're going to be distraction free watching, because it's not like a car accident or a firework or an explosion. It's a silent thing, and then all of a sudden, and we've already locally have had some near drownings in the area.
Yeah, it's the time of year, no doubt. Ben Kasper with Oishei Children's Hospital. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.